I'm reviewing Mystical Fight for the Sega Genesis / Megadrive. It came out in 1991 in Japan and 1992 in the USA. It sadly did not get a release here in Europe, but fortunately this game is region 3. I mean, some USA games, Genesis games, are region locked and don't work outside of USA or Canada, but this game is region 3. Works on all consoles. Now this is a great game. I've just beat it on all 3 difficulties. It doesn't have an easier difficulty. It starts on the easiest difficulty you can choose is normal, and then hard, and then expert. But if you want to get the best ending, you've got to play it on expert. So even when you play it on hard, it's not good enough. You've got to play it on expert. And this game is amazing. It's a beat 'em up, like your Golden Axe is your Streets of Rage. I'd give this game 10 out of 10. It's amazing. I've just beat it. I've had fun with it. It's a Japan game. I mean, it's based in Japan. You control 2 characters where you can only control one, the white coloured one. The red one can only be controlled by the 2-player character. But yeah, there's 6 stages. 5 if you're playing on normal. But it's one of them games it's one of them games that ends early. You get a bad ending. So you fight an imposter with the final boss. I don't know what his name is. He looks like the final boss on boss 5, but he's not the true final boss. The final boss on boss 6 looks just like the boss on boss 5. On level 5, sorry. So yeah, it's just your typical beat 'em up. I mean, I beat this game on all the difficulties. I mean, it's not too hard of a game. I mean, it's obviously easier on normal. On hard, there's hardly items to pick up. I think they scrap all the items. I don't think you can pick any items up. That's something I noticed in the hard or expert difficulty, but you can in the normal mode. And also the health items you pick up. There's way too many in the normal mode, but in the hard mode and expert mode you hardly see them. So you've got to get used to this game if you want to beat it on hard or expert. Now, I'm not saying this game's really hard, but it's only really hard in expert. Like on hard, it's hard, but I beat it without losing a continue. But on expert, I did manage to beat it, but with only a couple of lives left. But on expert, it's really difficult. Yeah, you've got to be good. You've got to learn the enemy patterns to beat on expert, because you do too much damage, you see, on expert. But yeah, unfortunately, this is one of them games. If you want the best ending, like I said earlier, you've got to play an expert. Hard isn't enough. You'd think hard would be enough because it unlocks hard, but it's not expert. So yeah, who the bosses in this game? I mean, I think the first boss is a lion. Second boss is like a red coloured tall troll, kind of. Reminds me of a troll. The third boss is a fire enemy that has fire around him. The fourth boss is a clown, kind of, and the fifth boss is the fake final boss. I mean, he's not the final boss, but he's a fake final boss if you're playing on a normal difficulty, because it ends after him. And then there's the final boss on the 6th level if you're playing on anything but normal. I mean, it's obviously the final boss. It was obviously harder than the fake final boss on boss 5, but he looks like him. But it's way harder, because in the fake final boss, you can, on level 5, you can just keep trapping him. He can't move. But the true final boss on boss 6 can move, and he has when you hit him too much, he kind of moves out the way, and you can't hurt him when he moves out the way for a few seconds, and then you've got to trap him in the corner again and keep doing it until you win. But yeah, it's like Golden Axe. You pick up magic And if you're playing on the expert difficulty or the hard difficulty, you want to save the magic for the true final boss, boss number 6. You shouldn't waste it before then, because all the bosses before then are not too hard. Even the fake final boss on boss 5, who's the fake final boss, I'm saying, because it ends after him. I mean, he's not hard, but the true final boss is. That's why you want to save the magic for him. So yeah, what are the levels in this game? I remember like a hellish fire looking level, a storm level, a misty level, and the last level, I think, I'm not sure where it is, it's like it's in a small little castle kind of, where you just fight all the bosses you've already beat again, and keep fighting enemies until the true final boss shows up. Oh yeah, the only boss you don't fight again is the first boss, the lion boss. For some reason you don't fight him again. You fight all the others before you take on the final boss, but that lion boss you don't fight again. So yeah, what else can I say about this game? It's amazing. I recommend you give it a go. The only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and play the Japanese version. I want to see the difference. I've been told the Japanese version is easier than this version, so I want to buy that version and find out the differences out of the two. Like, I beat this on all the 3 difficulties. I'm confident I'll beat the Japanese version because on all the difficulties too, because the Japanese version is apparently easier. It's been made easy because the enemies are slower, I believe. Same what else there is. I can say about this great game, not really much. The ending, I mean the true ending on the expert mode, you just have better credits roll basically, and you see your character tossing the true final boss after you beat him up in the air, and then the credits roll on the expert ending. I know a lot can't beat the expert ending, but I beat it. It took me, I failed on the first try, but I beat on the second. I'm good at gaming, but there are a lot of people who seem to struggle with this game for some reason. It's not the hardest game in the world. But is it the best beat 'em up ever? Yeah, I'd say it is. I mean, I'd say it's maybe not quite as good as Streets of Rage, because I grew up with Streets of Rage, so I love Streets of Rage. Maybe this is just a bit behind that, but I'd say this is as good as Golden Axe and the other beat 'em ups. Yeah, it's an amazing game. You want to give it a go. It's certainly better than a lot of beat 'em ups. So yeah, what else to say? No, there's not really much I can say. Just do yourself a favour, buy the game. I bought it from the USA for $20 in American money. It's not too expensive. I had a box with it though, because I bought it from an 100% seller, so it was quite a bit of money. But I'm sure recently, I'm sure someone may have put it on eBay for just a cartridge, and it may come at a cheaper price. But if you don't have a game you want to play this, it's amazing. Mystical Fighter, an absolutely amazing game. 10 out of 10, one of the best games I've ever played in my life. I beat this on all 3 difficulties, and I will definitely come back to this again. I'm going to play other games now, but I beat this game. It's definitely replay value. 10 out of 10.